What's up, co-reporters? Welcome back to my channel. I've got an update on Jace Evans and how he's been doing, what he's been telling the CPS agents and the police investigating why he continuously runs away from David Eason and Jenelle Evans. According to the U.S. Sun, Jace told investigators that he would continue to run away if he was placed under David and Jenelle's care again, which obviously sets off major alarm bells. Yesterday, we went over a story that was broken by TMZ about how David and Jenelle are being investigated for child neglect by the police. We've also been covering the Ashley Reality Roundups stories about how there appears to be ring footage of an alleged incident that took place, or should I say an attack, where Jace alleges that David Eason assaulted him. And apparently this happened outside of somebody's home, and that person has footage of the alleged attack as well. So when you put all of this together, you truly understand the level of fear that Jace has when it comes to living with David and Jenelle. So the sources that were speaking to The Sun said, and I quote, "Jace has told everyone, if he's sent back there, he won't stay. He will run again. One of the big concerns is that if he runs, he's also in the middle of nowhere by himself on foot. It's dangerous out there. It's not a threat anyone is taken lightly." And I'm happy that nobody is taking this lightly, because it is super serious. Like they said, there's a forest, there's the woods. Like, David and Jenelle live out in the middle of nowhere. Anything can happen to him in the wilderness. And if a child is willing to risk all of that, starving, being attacked by wild animals just to get away from people, then severe and thorough investigation into those people needs to be conducted. And thankfully, that investigation is currently being conducted. I don't know where Jace is going to be once he gets out of the hospital. And I think that, and a lot of you guys have been saying this in my comment section, but the authorities shouldn't just be looking after Jace's case here, because whatever Jace is allegedly going through could be the other kids could be going through the same thing as well. So perhaps it's time to start interviewing the other kids who are stuck in the swamp. Ensley, Kaiser, Marissa. Marissa once very bravely spoke out against her own father, David Eason, when they had that major CPS case going on 2 years ago, where David and Jenelle lost custody of all of the children while David was being investigated after shooting the family dog. She had a lot to say. Unfortunately, that case did not go the way that she or anybody else intended, as David and Jenelle wound up regaining custody of the kids. But now here is a second shot for her to speak her truth, set herself free, set her siblings free as well. Now, there haven't been any more updates outside of Jace's statements about how he just refuses to stay there. But if any updates come through, I, of course, will be letting you guys know. The only question I have right now is what could possibly go down with Jace. I know that the only reason that Jenelle even has custody of him right now is because her mother, Barbara, willingly reached out to turn over custody, because at her age, she is no longer able to deal with Jace or handle him. He's been having outbursts, apparently. Some of these outbursts have allegedly been physical as well. There has been reports of him starting fires. And obviously at her age, like a teenager allegedly hitting you or whatnot, it's very dangerous. And so I understand why she felt like she needed to turn over custody. But at this point, what happens? Does Jace go back to live with Barbara? Is that something that's good for Barbara? Is it safe for Barbara? Has he kind of mellowed out now that he sees what's on the other side of things? Is he going to be better when he stays with Barbara, or is it going to be best for him to be placed into emergency custody, perhaps in a foster care system or something like that? I don't know the question. I don't know the answer. I'm just asking you guys. Although I do believe, or would venture to guess, that Barbara would be willing to give him another chance just to save him from this situation. Because I think at this point, Jace has learned his lesson that he needs to shape up and act right with his grandmother if he does not want to live with his biological mother, right? And so I hope that now, after having experienced living with David and Jenelle for about 6 months and seeing how that has been so terrible that he continuously runs away, he realizes that Barbara is the only place that he can stay or stand to live for the time being. So he needs to kind of act right there. And so I hope that while Barbara was visiting in hospital, they had a good heart-to-heart conversation, and that things will be able to work out better between them this time around. Although I also understand that at her age, perhaps she just wants to live alone and just live out her golden years. I don't know, traveling or doing whatever it might be that makes her happy, because raising children is hard. Raising teenagers is hard. Doing it in your mid 70s is probably the hardest thing ever. So it's just complicated all the way around. I know that I've heard so many stories about the foster care system not being the greatest. And this is not to slight people who are great foster parents, but I've heard that the demand is too high and a lot of kids fall through the crack in the system. And if he is placed in foster care, I hope that he's placed in one of the good ones, because the last thing Jace needs is to be traumatized again by someone new. Right? He's already been through enough in his short life. And I would hate to hear about him going through any more heartache, any more pain, any more mistreatment. Guys, if you have any opinions about all of this, let me know in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.